book called Atomic Habits, James Cleary. And the quote is, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you settle to the level of your process. Okay, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you settle to the level of your process. So what do you mean by that? Well, wealthy people and broke people all have goals. Everyone has lofty goals. I want to make 30 grand a month. Well, the person that makes 30 grand a month probably hit their goal, but the ones that did not, but they still had the same goal. So goals really don't define success. It's the process by which you get there is what will define the success. And the beautiful thing about sales, it's not based on some kind of special personality that you have. Thank God, right? I'm a kind of a extrovert kind of guy, and I like to just get into it with people. And maybe people don't like my personality, but if I trust the process, it's going to work. Like Chris is an engineer. Chris never thought he could sell anything, right? But he's an engineer, so engineers understand processes. He's an analyzer kind of guy. He didn't have to believe he could sell. He just had to believe he could follow a process, right? And by following the process, he learned to be successful getting coaching, because getting coaching is part of the process. So again, you don't rise to the level of goals, you settle to the level of your process. So here's really the choice. When you walk into someone's home, you have a choice, okay? You can go down one of two paths, okay? You can follow the client sales process, or you can follow the alliance sales process. So in other words, if you don't follow a process, then you default to the client sales process, right? But Alex, clients have a sales process? Well, yes, they do. They're going to invite you in their house. In fact, you're so surprised how easy that appointment was. Oh yeah, sure, come on over. We've been waiting for this call. And you're going, oh my gosh, this is going to be a lay down. So you have all this expectation, So they're going to, when you get in the house, they're going to create bond rapport with you. They're going to make you feel good, like, oh man, I'm so glad you're here. That's their process, make you feel good. I give you water, anything you need. We're really excited that you're here. They've got the wife at the table. They're all at the edge of their seat. And in your mind, you're going, oh, this is a lay down. Now it's just a matter of how much commission I'm going to make off this family, because they really need it. And then you start getting into the why. And they tell you their why. They go, we're so glad you're here. We really need this burial policy because, my aunt died and she had to do a GoFundMe page. You're going, oh my gosh. They're following my process. So they're gonna tell you their why, right? And then you're just breezing through going, oh, this is a lay down, right? And so you start qualifying them. They tell you all their health information, and then you show them the options, option 1, 2, and 3. And then you're thinking, oh, this is okay, which one is going to be best for you and your family? And then they tell you, we really like option 2. We're thinking about option 3 because we really like that extra benefit, that return of premium rider, or that, all those extra benefits. You're thinking, okay, well, let's go ahead and let's write out. You pull your laptop out and go, oh, hold on. What do you mean? Well, we're going to, you want this one, so we're just going to, see if you qualify. I appreciate you coming over, Alex. You are the best salesperson that ever sat there at our table. And oh my gosh, my wife and I love you, but right now we're not really ready to make a decision. We got to think about it. And you're going, but, well, tell you what, do you have a bunch of cards? Because at church, we're going to hand your card to everybody we know. And when we make a decision, you will be the first person we call back. Right. And you you're walking out of the house going, what happened? Who's been there? Yeah. You should hire them because they're a better salesperson than you are. Obviously, right? That's their sales process. They do the think about it. They do the Tai Chi on you, think about it, and then you walk away with nothing. You didn't help anybody. And then this is where you go to McDonald's and you go ahead and grab a sundae because you want to feel better about your poor performance. Now notice, nowhere in this process did you call Mike or Noel or your upline. See, because you followed their process. Now, if you want to follow the alliance sales process, it's a very simple process, okay? Number one, it's an 8-step process. Number one is bond and rapport. Okay. The second step is finding pain or the why. Number three, qualify the client. Number four, call upline. So we embedded it, especially for new people and veteran agents. So where you present, to do the 3-option close. Number 6, you complete the application. Number 7, you do the post-sale. So we lock it down, so we minimize all your chargebacks. And then number 8, guess what? Call from the home again. Here's the thing, man. You know, AIL, they have you memorize their sales script, and you can't go in the field until you sit down with your manager and read this, memorize the script and recite the script from top to bottom. They try to teach you to be a robot, right? There's no personality injected. They just start you off like that, and then they feel like, and they do very well, by the way. Okay, so I'm not slamming them. We have a process, and this is where you inject your personality into it, right? Because if you follow the process, you're always going to win. You may not be good at the beginning, but you have a process to rely on. Even if you don't know exactly what to say, you know what you're trying to accomplish in each phase of the process. So what are you trying to accomplish in bond rapport? You're trying to create, so let's write down the objective here. You're creating trust, right? Trust creates belief. They believe when they trust you. So bond rapport is creating trust with the client. Like, did you ever buy anything from someone you didn't trust? Right? Trust is an important part of the process. And you don't really, and bond rapport really runs through, the thread runs through the entire system, okay? The pain process is you trying to find out, do they really need this? And here's really the main idea here in this process. It's a filter process. Everyone thinks at the end of this, I want to get a client, I'm going to sell every client at the end of this. No. Do you want to sell a client that you're going to get a chargeback on?
No.
A client who doesn't really need it? A client because you did some magic Jedi, mind tricks on them that they wanted to sign the application, and then it turns into a chargeback 2 weeks later, 2 months later? No. This is a filter process to determine at the end that you have a good client that you serve, they're going to keep their policy, and they like you, and they want to continue a relationship with you, okay? Any time in this process that someone, you don't feel right about them, it's okay for you to reject them. See, most salespeople think, okay, I got to get this client. When in fact, you have to determine whether or not the client deserves you as their salesperson. It's a different mentality. You have to determine whether or not this client deserves your time. And any part of the process where you get the inkling that I don't think it's the right client for me, and Mike and Noel and the Alliance, I think it's time for me to go. And you got to have the cojones to walk out of there, because you don't have a sale, never made a sale that you never got in the first place, right? So that's the whole idea, is the filter, okay? So pain, finding out why they need it, not the logical need, but the emotional need, right? And you got to be willing to ask 12 questions to get there. And it's the question game, right? Alex, what kind of questions? Here's one of the best pain finding questions is, all right, Joe and Mary, tell me why I'm here. Whoa, Alex, you start with that? Yes, I got to start somewhere. So why am I here? Why did you invite me into your house? In your mind, you're thinking, you sent this form in, or you answered this internet ad. Then I called you up. You pick up the phone, and I give you options of when to meet you, and you invite me in your house. I drive all the way to your house, right? You let me in the house, you offer me some water. So, and that's in your mind. It's like, okay, so why am I here? And you're smiling and you don't say a word until they answer. Because he who speaks first loses. It's the Mexican standoff. It's the power of silence. Silence is a powerful thing. Silence emphasizes what you just said. Silence causes them to feel uncomfortable because people want to fill silence. You ever have a friend when you're talking? Yes. Or your kids. Oh my gosh. So, Athen, how you doing? How's school going? Good. And sometimes like, well, tell me more about that, right? I mean, it's just, they don't know they have great closing skills when they don't answer a question fully. So when you ask them that, they'll say, well, we're interested in how much it costs. So they give you a logical reason why you're here. They want to know how much it costs. It's like, absolutely, man, we'll get there. But let me ask you more of a question. Tell me what you wanted this policy to do for you. What you wanted to do for you. That's a great question. How about another one? Who are you going to list as the beneficiaries of the policy? Who are the people that you love that you want to be part of this, policy that will receive the benefits? Another good question is who's going to pick up the pieces when you die? And you write their names down because you use those names. Those names are the hook to the emotional need. Now you're getting down to the emotional need. So tell me what happens when you die and you don't have this in place. So what is Mary going to have to do? And you shut up. The more questions you ask, the more emotional it gets, right? So then once you feel like the pain, you've got it emotional, then you get into the qualify mode. And this is where you pull out the green sheet, right? The green sheet is your friend. The green sheet will really prove to me, to you, that you did bottom four well. Because if they're not going to tell you the other things that they have, now it's simple in insurance game, you don't just say, okay, tell them about your 401k and all your retirement. You don't say it like that, right? There's setup questions that your upline will teach you, such as, okay, now this life insurance is, a way for you to take care of what you just wanted. Let me ask you, what other assets do you have that would help offset the needs that your family would have when you die? When you die, they're going to lose your income, right? That's a setup question, big time. They go, yeah. So what other assets do you have? And then you start writing it down on the green sheet. Okay. The other form of qualification is getting their health information, which is also part of the green sheet process. So you know what you're going to do to help them out with regard to the type of policy. Okay. You got to qualify them, right? And you can even fit the budget in here. So now, Joe and Mary, my job is to make sure this fits in your budget. Okay. Now, I wish I could give you all the benefits that you want, but insurance is based on age and your health. Okay. So I need to make sure that you have the best policy at the best price. Okay. But what were you thinking in round numbers that you wanted your budget to be? Okay. Now this is how you know you did a good job on the pain finding process. Because they might have thought that $50 a month is going to be good, but if you did pain right, all of a sudden it's probably double or more than that. But this is how you test the client on how well you did the bond rapport and pain finding. So notice that you're layering the process on top of each other. Everything depends on how well you did previously. That's how you get good at this when you close all these compartments well, right? And after you get all that information, you kind of get an idea of the budget, then you call your upline. And how do you call your uplines? Like, all right, Joe and Mary, I got this great information. I know why you need this. Now I'm going to check with my chief underwriter to make sure that we're on the right track. Okay, is that okay if I give him a call or give her a call? Right, get their permission. And they're like going, whoa, he's got access to the chief underwriter, right? And so you call your chief underwriter, hey, Mike, how you doing? You're on speakerphone. You got to make sure you warn them, right? There's some really cool things you could do. Actually, when you get this down with your upline, they can start getting into the sales process like, well, tell me more about them. Oh, okay. Wow. We just had one of our agents just called exact same client and they took care of this, blah, blah, blah. So they can help you close it if, you set them up well enough by telling them about the client. Hey, I got this really nice couple here, Joe and Mary. They really love their kids, right? So you're telling them all about their pain, right? All the pain you're reinforcing with your upline. And then you say, now I'm thinking blah, 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 this product, and what are your thoughts? It's like, yeah, I think that's the right product for them. Okay, I think you're on the right track, Alex. I think you'll be able to take care of them with that. I think we'll be able to get them something affordable. And the client's thinking, whoa, I've got another expert, a second opinion, to make sure our case is being handled properly. Again, now you're building continued trust. You call your upline. Then you put together the 3-option close. And this is how you set up the 3-option close. Okay. And this is the way that you get rid of the think about it. The foolproof way to get rid of think about it. And you tell the client, okay, now, next thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you the 3 different options. You're going to pick the option that you feel the most comfortable with. And all we're going to do is see if you qualify at the insurance company. Now, I wish I could approve this here, but I can't because you're a nice couple. I know you need this, but the insurance company is going to have to make the decision. So actually, the insurance company is going to have to think about it. They're going to have to think about you, whether or not you deserve this policy based on your health, right? And based on your age and your needs. But I want you to know that so you don't have a chance to think about it because they got to think about you first. You can think about it if you qualify for this, they're going to issue the policy and then they're going to send it to you. And then I'm going to come back over and we're going to go over it to make sure it's got everything you were looking for. You feel comfortable with it. And if you want more benefit, because we know that you're going to be underwritten on it, we can increase it or we can decrease it. If you think after, 2 weeks, 3 weeks that we've gone through this process that you can't afford it, we'll be able to adjust that. Is that cool with you guys? How does that look to you? How's that feel? And then you just shut up and wait for an affirmation. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, cool. So then you show them the 3 options. This is what this option will give you. I go from high to low. And then you say, now, which one is the best option for your needs and budget? And then I'm pulling up my computer while they're deciding. And I'm pulling up the e-app and I'm filling out the electronic application. They start asking, okay, now, social security number. Okay, and your address is, I'll fill out the application. They haven't even decided yet because they're going to decide because we already got to this point right here. Okay, present 3 options. Then we're completing the application. We're getting all that stuff taken care of. Then the post-sale, make sure that you're doing the right thing for them. So this involves several elements. The first element is closing the sale again. Hey, Joe and Mary, I just want to make sure before we, submit this, that this is something that's going to be affordable for you. $129 a month. Is this something that you can do every month for the next 30 years or till you die? Right? Let's say Christmas is coming, the bills are coming in January, and you kind of were a little more generous than you wanted to be. And are you going to see that $129 coming out of your bank account on the first of the month? Are you going to call me and tell me that you want to cancel? And I just shut up. I make them think. And if there's any type of gap in time there, I say, maybe we push your budget too much. You remember that middle option 2, where it was like $78 a month? Would that be a better option for you? And when they like, oh, it did the right thing. Or they're going to say, no, 128, that's going to work. Okay, I just want to make sure. You mentioned that you want to make sure that, Joe, Martha, and Sally were going to be taken care of. They didn't have to do a GoFundMe page or whatever. I just want to make sure, okay? Summertime's coming, vacation bills. You're not going to want to cancel this, are you? No. Okay, great. That's the first step in the post-sale. The second step is, now look, I know in the next couple of days you're going to have questions. So what I would ask you to do is write your questions down. Here's my card. And write your questions on my card, a little piece of paper, whatever. I'll call you back a couple of days so I can answer those questions, right? Now, why do you call them back in a couple of days? To answer our questions? Well, yeah. But what you're looking for is buyer's remorse. It's easier to redo a policy and say a policy 2 days after the appointment than 2 weeks after the appointment, right? Because 2 days after appointment, what does that sound like? It sounds like, hey, Joe and Mary, it's Alex. Hey, I'm here to answer any questions. Pause. Alex, Mary and I were talking, and is it a little bit too expensive? I like prompt up. Yeah, it's kind of like, we're just thinking that maybe it was just a little too much. Maybe we need to say no more. I was kind of feeling the same way too. Listen, my last appointment's at 6 o'clock. I could be over there about 7:30. Why don't I just come over? Let's talk about it. You know what? They're going to be open. But 2 weeks later, after they receive the policy, they call you, right? And they tell you they can't afford it. Are you going to have a chance to save it? No, because they took 2 weeks. See, they made their decision 2 days after you left. It just took them, 12 more days to solidify that decision. It's hard to save it later. That's why you want to call them back. Here's the third thing I do on the post sale. I tell them, would you like to know what your policy is going to look like? What do you mean? Let me show you what your policy is going to look like. Let me show you my policy. So you pull your policy out of your bag. Your policy is going to look very similar to this. So let me open and see this policy benefits page. You're going to have one exact like you see. I took care of my family I still have mine 24 years ago, December 8th, 1999, 150,000 with return of premium. All your policy benefits are going to be right here. I turn the page over. Now, this is where all the premiums are. So if you have any questions on how much you're going to pay and for how long, it'll be on the second page. And then I turn to the suicide exclusion. Now, if you decide to kill yourself, wait after 2 years, and then the policy is, and they laugh, And then I show them the picture or the copy of the application. So if you had any questions about how you answered the questions on the application, it's right here. And the touchy-feely people, they love that waka, waka, waka. Hey, here, hold it. This is what you're going to get. And so you've talked about a conceptual process of protecting their families. And what you did is you made it tangible. They're going to get a contract. They're going to touch it and feel it. Those people will be all over it. And that's one of the most powerful closing techniques. Oh, did I say, by the way, that you have to have your own policy? Did that part? Well, Alex, I can get a specimen policy. Dude, you show them a specimen policy, they're going to want to go to the bathroom and urinate. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Then finally, call from the home. Hey, Mike, I think we took care of everything. The clients, they went ahead and picked option 2, $128 a month. And I showed them what their policy is going to look like. Any other suggestions, anything that I missed? Right? So you call twice and you lock it down. Does that make sense? 8-step process. You follow the process, you're going to be more successful, even though you're not good at any one of the part of the process. But if you do a little bit of it, you'll get better and better and better. Remember, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you settle to the level of your process.